Good morning, all of you. After the after Ming prostrations, then the nuns from the Podong Nunnery, they're going to recite the verses for offering the lights. They recite this, Anitinzi Nidrilla. Nudrilla. And this Nudrilla will lead, and all the nuns will say this, the verses of offering lights to all Bodhisattvas, and let us all join with them. And while offering the lights, okay, 3 prostrations together first. Some of you may be wondering what they recited, and from the source which they provided. It says this is the light offering prayer composed by Lama Adishita Bungara Sri Gyana in 11th century AD, and the meanings are extremely profound. The the first few verses they they do not the they do not chant. I just suggested if they can chant, that also is very profound. The first part is, may this vessel becomes as may this vessel or these vessels become as vast as the entire billion-fold universe upon which you offer the light. May its the wick, grow as large as Mount Meru, the king of mountains, and great ocean at the edge and may the oil within becomes as vast as great ocean of the edge of the world. So you think of the light offering as huge, massive, numerous, and may a billion such lamps appear before each and every Buddha. Their light banishing or dispelling the darkness of ignorance everywhere. So what they recited is, from the very peak of existence down to the lowest hell, may they reveal all the realms of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout the 10 directions. Om Vajraloki Ahum. Emaho, the wondrous and amazing light burning brightly, are offered to the 1,000 Buddhas of the fortunate era, Gurus, Yidam deities, Dakanis, and Dhammapalas, and the deities of all the mandals in all the infinite realms of 10 directions. May all beings, with my own parents foremost amongst them, in this land and in all lives, to come, whatever our place of birth, always seek directly the perfect Buddha's realms and remain forever inseparable from Amitabha, the Lord of boundless light. Granted blessings so that through the power of the truth of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and the deities of the 3 roots, this prayer of the aspiration may swiftly be fulfilled. So the colophon is, it is said that the precious Lord, glorious Atisha, Lama Adishita Bungara Sri Gyana, and the 17 of his disciples would chant this in unison as they made offerings in the shrines of Yuzhang. Beautiful, yeah. And okay, let us turn to page 3. Keep in mind, so today is the last day for this retreat, and we are gathered here in the mornings, early mornings, to learn how to practice the Dhamma, what to include in our practice, daily practice, and the purpose is to let our Buddha nature manifest, and that eventually the samsaric fears, the fears within samsara is over, and that your happiness expands to infinity. This is whole purpose. So with this mind, and that too, not only for yourself, but for the benefit of your parents and all dear mother sentient beings. So with this mind, and 3 points to remember whenever we engage in some, say, the more solid and more formalized practice. 1, the refuge field. Number 2, Bodhicitta, the Bodhicitta field. And number 3, the purpose of this practice. First, refuge field. Visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, particularly the Bodhisattvas related to you with respect to being as an inspiration, the blessings of inspiration, blessings of inspiration for Bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. Think of all these enlightened masters and the 17 enlightened masters also with you, and how you visualize them. That makes the whole difference. That defines how strong, how stable your refuge is, sense of refuge. And for the Bodhicitta field, visualize your two grandparents and all the family members, including children, and all their mothers and shimmies living on the side. Every tiny insect, everyone with you. And from Tawang, from India, from your own country, from the world, from the Milky Way galaxy, and then from the entire universe, everyone joins you. And here you are the mother, and all others are children. That you shower on them total love and affection to the extent that each one of them feels himself so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken your Buddha nature. By remove the mental stains, and the dominant Buddha nature within us will manifest fully, that we experience fearlessness and infinite happiness, that all the tears of samsara will stop, and that you teach, you share this wisdom, the light of the wisdom with all the demonstration beings, how to stop the tears of samsara, and how to experience the infinite happiness. And for to do so, we require to rely on the wisdom of emptiness. And with this wisdom of emptiness, to what extent it will remove the mental defilements, be it afflictive or cognitive obscurations, is determined by the motivation. The motivation is the motivation of Bodhicitta, and this Bodhicitta must rest on the ground of renunciation. So with this mind, let us imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. Page 3. And to your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. And to your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. And to your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. Sanye Joda Soge Chonam Ane yazu shi dage jinso kebe sonangi chola penjir sanye chubara isho sanye joda soge chonam chanjo bardo dane yazu shi dage jinso kebe sonangi chola penjir sanye chubara isho Sanje joda soge jonam la chanjo bardo dane gyabso che dage jinso gebe sonam gi chola ben yere sanje chubara isho. I go for refuge and trim enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and trim enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and trim enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Kange den de wara ju ga ba me ba ge me ba che ba me ba ta me ba o me ba jo me ba ta de me den je me che ba ni je den ba zo be san ye ma nam ge tam ba de la cha ze lo. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the concept Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of aberrations. Nyendo jiwo sonam gunshe nige nyenshe denze kanyenda dola pembara jenam namshe nige jiden dundu zeba khan Panda yanda dembe tuna namba gunde naso de zombo. Ndu janjo sembe soje sanje gene yumda la chase lo. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead here is seeking pacification and complete peace, which through the knowledge of past causes was helping man greatest to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue us expound a variety of teachings. Semara Jurba Dola Benjeba Dumba Deshe Jobla Chazelo, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism benefits sentient beings, the teacher, Sugat and protector, to you are my prostrations. Tobe Tawa Namze Jen Sabjen Yaje Gungab Kundu Sambo Seda Kune Chola Chase Lo, the one who has eliminated the web conceptualizations and endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and profound, who attain stands for the forever noble light raised to you, the Buddha, make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum de desham chaya Shamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Meaning of the Nyingma mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Great Seer. Sabji Dode Vese Dumaje Duze Dabu Chushi Kueni Sula Shenyang Hora Menube Memanage Naso Nebara Cham. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear light and non-composite, such as nectar like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the woods. Masam Jeme Jera Paruchin, Magye Mega Namke Nguonye, Soso Randi Ishichu, Yuzum Geve Yomla Chaselo. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unsees, and has no natural space, is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, of the three times obeisance. The four seals of the Buddha's teachings. Duje Damje Medaba Chu Damje Dongshin Dame Ba Nyangale Deba Shiva. All composite things impermanent, all contaminated things are the nature of suffering. Transcending sorrow is peace. Lama Zanje Lama Je Dejan Lama Gendunde Gunge Chebu Lama Lama Namla Chase Lo. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is also everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. Chöngwa Chenpo Traye Ne Simche Dungen Targi Ching Kewa Chewa Sami Yesu Chöden Jeji Shu Gyuru Su. By the sound of the Vabhem Dharma of Dharma, we liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and keep teachings until the end of the expense obedience eons. Tumnam Deba Chuye Metro Shin, Joe Dungen Chage Misela, Nige Toba Shen La Pomin, Chunye Demba Dembe Chowara Guru. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not found through them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Chonam gunge sangye la temo jate sowa ye simje dunge mendom chuge drume bardus with folded hands are besieged. Tsedila shena choba min, korwa la shena nyejo, randon la shena chanse min, zimba chuna tawa min. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have nobody. You do not have to view. Ramela. The mic is not. I just share me Shall we just continue reciting the prayers? Page 14.
Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, to the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan. I prostrate, making offerings and go for refuge. O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth. You paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust-free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on mass of Vultures mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara. How should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said to the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unseized, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element, and so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extension of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extension of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non attainment. Shariputra, therefore, there is no attainment. Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to the unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection is declared. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from the concentration and commended to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you've indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddhas having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in the entirely, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised the spoken by the Buddha. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existence, may they be pacified. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May all auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Sorry, Geshe. No, not. 8 verses for the training the mind. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim dedication prayer. From my 2 collections, vast is space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's eye wisdom is blinded by ignorance. 7 limb practice. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the past, present, past, and future in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and sweet music and scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you, victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, and all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers, training, and those gone, and all of ordinary beings. You are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained above this omniscience through the all who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you may actualize parinirvana. Please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of beings. Short mandala offering. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land.
O saji bhege joshi mendo tam re rab le she nyen den gen ba de san ye shen do me de bu va yin to gu nam da jen la chen ba rai shu.
The four dharmas of Venerable Gampopa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the dharma. May I be blessed that my dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is freed of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in light of exalted wisdom. The four dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva become utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence. Please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious Bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not even see an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatam. The foundation of all good qualities. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death becomes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I've fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've specified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having been a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway for the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya, as I've been firmly convinced of this. Please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completely the paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara.
You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, a
And
Manjushri,
Manjushri,
master
master
of
of
flawless
flawless
wisdom,
wisdom, as
as well
well
as
as
Vajrapani,
Vajrapani,
destroyer of
destroyer
hosts
of
of
hosts of
demons
demons
without
without
exception,
exception.
Tsongkhapa,
Tsongkhapa,
crown
crown
jewel of
jewel
the
of
sages of
sages
the
of the
land of
land of
snows,
snows,
those
those
on
on
top at your
at your
feet, I
feet,
make
at your feet.
translations. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, a Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losar at your feet, I make prostrations. Okay, next, Tamje Nejugi Simkeba, generating the amount of concept in yoga. For this, the four things to practice. One is shamatha meditation. Number two, renunciation. Number three, bodhicitta. Number four, wisdom emptiness. Good. The four things to be practiced. Then, if possible, on a daily basis, if you can do this for like 10-15 minutes, that would be just amazing. And then at the end, if you can take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, how we do that, in prostrations to all Bodhisattvas, then you take the aspiration Bodhisattva sitting on the right knees, that would be very helpful. Okay, for the first, for this, the exercise, physical exercise, breathing exercise, and shamatha meditation. Are you ready? Yeah, physical exercise. Now you hold your two knees. pull you to your knees. Okay, now first right shoulder to your left knee 3 times. 1, okay, left shoulder 3 times. Once more, right shoulder. Left shoulder. Good. Okay. Next, thumbs in, wrap with other fingers on your knees, pull 3 times, pull to left side, and then let the first finger out. Once more, pull. Again, pull. Are you good? Next 5 minutes of the shaman meditation. Okay, 5 minutes ready. Okay, next renunciation. I will do that based on the four seals. For the practice of renunciation, there are many versions of the different traditions. Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, within Tibetan Buddhism, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyima, Gilu, Potong, Shalu, there are many traditions. And all these traditions, they will base their practice on the four seals which the Buddha himself taught. So with this mind, we'll do the based on the four seals. Ready? Renunciation. In the process, please make sure that you don't just try to invoke the experiences as much as possible. You don't have to correlate with what you've heard before, what you have read before or learned before, and see if these two tally, not tally. This is not a job at the moment. If you do want to correlate things, you can do that later on. This is a time where we need to focus on invoking the spirit, invoking the experiences with this mind. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce our miseries. To renounce our miseries means to learn how to remove the causes of miseries. The Buddha taught, Ye dharma hedu prabhava hetum desham tathagato hyevatat. All phenomena arise from the causes, and the causes are taught by the Tathagata. And we learn that the cause of miseries are fourfold: contaminant karmas, afflictions, inappropriate attention, and rooted to self-grasping ignorance. Finally, while we put effort to mitigate the power of the contaminant karmas, afflictions, inappropriate attention, so forth, our final job is to get rid of this ignorance, iceberg on which the series of causes of samsara and the miseries are stacked. You melt this iceberg and everything stacked upon this will dissolve, will crumble down. So for that matter, to identify the self-grasping ignorance as root of miseries is very subtle. For this reason, the Buddha remained silent for 49 days. Later, at the request of the king of the gods, Indra, and the Brahma, the Buddha decided to give the teachings. So he taught very skillfully based on the four seals. The first, all composite things seem permanent. Knowing that all the miseries arise from the ignorance, and ignorance, there are various levels of ignorance. Ignorance first, which misperceives impermanent phenomena as permanent. Ignorance which misperceives impure things as pure. Ignorance which misperceives miseries as happiness. And finally, ignorance which misperceives what is empty of self, the selfhood nature, as of selfhood nature. To eradicate these four levels of ignorance, Buddha taught the four seals. All composite things impermanent. Composite here means composition of the parts, such as material parts like atoms, electrons, protons, and so forth, and the temporal parts like time. Our mind doesn't have the material parts, but of the temporal parts. Temporal parts meaning our mind exists. Today's mind, I'm happy today. Today's made of 24 parts, 24 hours. First hour mind, second hour mind, third hour mind, so forth. Even the first hour mind is also composed of 24, composed of the 60 minutes. First minute mind, second minute mind, third minute mind, so forth. This is how we see that the mind is made of temporal parts. Temporal meaning time, the parts of time. So whatever is composed of these parts should necessarily be impermanent nature. And impermanence is of two kinds: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence, referring to impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. It's so important for us to think of both the levels of impermanence, and let us think about our youth when we were 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. Now these beautiful days are gone. Let's think about earlier celebrations of birthday, celebration of New Year, and so forth. They're all gone. Likewise, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, there were people of your same age, younger than you, older than you, and the children, they have so much expectation. I want to do this, do that in my life. And the parents have similar expectation of the children. Today, where are they? They're all gone. This impermanence. It's for this reason, however beautiful things are, however enticing, alluring things are, they're prone to decay and death. This is reality. Even the most beautiful things in the past, most youthful men, women, today they're all gone. And what is very youthful men and women today, within the span of the next 10, 20, 30 years, they will be gone. Believe it or not, 100 years from now, 150 years from now in the future, not even a single 8 billion human beings out of these 8 billion human beings will survive then. That's a reality. It's for this reason that Buddha taught that whatever gathers will disperse. Our coming together on the 15th, I think 15th or 16th, now is going to disperse impermanence. The Buddha taught whatever is accumulated exhausts. The youth is followed by old age, and whatever is born dies. This is reality. Yes. So there's a change happening, gross change happening. This change that you see within the span of the last 10 years, 20 years is possible only if the changes happen on the yearly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis, millisecond by millisecond basis. All composite phenomena, your body, your friends, your parents, the food that we eat, the house that we live in, they're all composite nature, and they are momentarily changing. What is composed of such parts should necessarily entail momentary changes, momentarily moving so fast, like the ripple of the water, like the digits when you press the timer or the stopwatch, how the digits move so fast. This is exactly how body is moving, how all the composite phenomena are moving. It is our illusion that we see them as so static and firm and stable. And actually they're all moving at such a pace. It moves so fast, it's very scary. Yes, indeed, it's very scary. Who decides? Imagine that you are thrown in a very fast moving train. You are so scared. The faster the train moves, more the fear. Why? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. If the train, and who decides where the train is taking us? The train driver. If the train driver is your mom or your dad, no doubt will take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is your enemy or the terrorist, or under the dictator of terrorists, it'll only take us to the slaughterhouse. Unfortunately for us, while the train driver is in mind, this mind is under the dictator, the worst of the terrorists, the worst of the contaminations, which is self-grasping ignorance. And this self-grasping ignorance, when complemented by self-centered attitude, then all the offshoots of this in the form of inappropriate tension, afflictions, contaminant karmas, all this arise and finally culminating in the form of tears and pain, agony, bewilderment, and so forth. Yes, it's so painful. This is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are suffering nature, and suffering of three kinds. Suffering, acutely painful. The loss of near and dear ones, so painful. It can just make you go into hysteria. We become paranoid. We become traumatized by these experiences. Yes, so painful. One moment of such experience of such and the such a pain of suffering is good enough to nullify all the past moments of the wonder celebrations, birthday parties, New Year celebrations, so forth. Is all so hollow, shallow, meaningless, gloomy, and as one moment of such tragedy. Yes, that's true. And the worst for the more evolved beings, those who practice this more, they're going to realize the suffering change is the one which binds us, which makes us, which steal our time, which deceives us, lures us into this, and which kept us trapped in samsara all the time, like the bait. And for even more evolved beings, they will explore what is the mechanism which makes us trapped in this suffering and suffering change. They'll discover the pervasive conditioned suffering. So the Buddha indicated, which Acharya Dharmagati very clearly said in his text Pramanavartika, that when the Buddha taught this is the truth of suffering, the Buddha meant the third suffering, pervasive conditioned suffering. Anybody who's able to go to this level of understanding, first being scared for suffering, then being scared for suffering change, and finally being scared of these suffering, pervasive conditioned suffering, this is a wise person. So we need to go in that direction to become wise. We all have the capacity to become wise. We all have that, but the nature, we all have the capacity to become wise. That's to understand it, or see how vicious the pervasive conditioned suffering is, and the pain of the suffering, and the lure, the bait nature of the suffering change. Yes, it's so agonizingly painful, very tiring, very exhausting. Yes, how to get away from this? When will this stop? 2024, it stopped last year. Like this, when will this stop? They will never stop like 2024. 2024, whether we like it or not, it stopped on its own. But these miseries, they will never stop on their own. They'll stop only if we put effort. What kind of effort required? It depends on the nature of the suffering, the cause of suffering. And the cause of suffering is where identified as this self-grasping ignorance. So, how to get rid of this root of the suffering, self-grasping ignorance, how to get rid of this? By introducing very forceful counterforce. What is counterforce? The wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom? Wisdom, by the very definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is in the nature of emptiness, selflessness. So since that we have already learned about emptiness, we're going to meditate on emptiness today. Okay, today we'll meditate on the emptiness of the flower, and then later on we can extend this to your near and dear ones, your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter, or your sister, your brother, and so forth. You can think of meditate on the same way you can meditate on extend it to your near and dear ones later on. Okay, today we'll do the meditation on the emptiness of the flower. Just imagine that you go in a beautiful garden and you see one particularly freshly blossomed rose flower, pink rose flower. And how does the flower appear to you? It's so beautiful. Objectively or subjectively, so objectively dear. This belief that this rose flower exists so objectively real, this is our ignorance, self-grasping ignorance. How do you know that the flower does not exist objectively? How do you know that this mind which views this flower to be real is ignorance? Why not? It is a valid mind. So for this we have to evaluate, we have to check, we have to evaluate if the flower does exist objectively. For that, remember what Arunachal taught. If the mirage were to be water, one of those close by the mirage see water. With a similar token of reasoning, if this flower would exist objectively, why don't I see this flower as I go closer to its object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object. How do we go closer to the object? We have to, that mind which goes closer to the object to analyze if the object exists objectively or not is known as ultimate analysis. So we have to subject this flower to ultimate analysis. Subject flower to ultimate analysis, you go closer, 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 you first see although the flower looks so beautiful, texture extremely beautiful, color combination and so forth. But if you go closer to the electron microscope, we start to see the cracks in this otherwise the seemingly extremely beautiful, seamless color gradation and the beauty and freshness, and yet we see the cracks. These cracks, like the cracks in the mud, these cracks are the cell membranes, partition of cells, partition of the 2 cells, 3 cells, 4 cells. Going further deeper into this, inside this cell, you'll see the nucleus in the pool of cytoplasm, the liquid cytoplasm. Inside the nucleus, you go deeper into the nucleus, we see the chromosomes. On the chromosomes, we must watch this document film. NASA company, which is referred to as the powers of 10. If you Google search powers of 10, it'll come out. Okay, so going there, we see the chromosomes. Now, where is the flower? The flower is nowhere to be seen, and you just see the chromosomes. If the chromosomes, you go deeper, you see the DNA molecules. And go deeper, you see the atoms. You cannot stay there. Now what do you see? In the eyes of the ultimate analysis, say, looking for this objective flower, you end up seeing the pool of atoms. Now tell me, you've already identified object negation, the intrinsic flower, objective flower. Now, if it does exist, it should be seen by the ultimate analysis. Now, what the ultimate analysis is seeing is the pool of atoms. Are these atoms the flower? You're not looking for the flower. You're not looking for the atoms. You're looking for the objective flower. Are these atoms the flower? Answer is no. The flower is so beautiful and atoms are neutral in feeling. There's no flower. So the flower is not one with its parts. The flower is not intrinsically one with its parts. The flower is empty of being intrinsically one with its parts. Okay, now, yes, I understood it. If you see that these atoms are not a flower, that's good enough. You've understood the second essential understanding. Emptiness of objects being intrinsically one with its parts. If not one, see if it exists intrinsically different. Remove these atoms. Do you see the flower left as different from the atoms? Remove the atoms, what happens? No flowers left there. Which means the flower is not even intrinsically different from the atoms also. These are the only 2 possibilities for the flower. If it does exist objectively, there's only 2 possibilities for the flower to exist objectively. Given that both the possibilities are ruled out, now tell me, you have your ultimate analysis come too close to object where to see if the flower is objective or not. If it is objective is a flower, what do you see? Where's this objective flower? Nowhere to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. It can be a tinge of a fear, tinge of a sadness can come. It doesn't matter. This is so precious. Okay, it's amazing. This meditation is so profound. This is what the Buddha indicated as the object that you are seeing to see now is known as everything is the nature, emptiness and selflessness. Okay, this practice is so profound. But what's the benefit of this practice? Yes, just as this beautiful flower dissolves in the experience of the ultimate analysis to discover that objectively there is no such beautiful flower. Likewise, if we subdue all our miseries like sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, the pain of losing the dear ones, the bewilderment, and so forth, to the same analysis, we see that they are all just illusion, they dissolve. You transcend the sorrow. The moment the sorrow is transcended, your mind felt so light and uplifted with absolute peace. This is known as transcendent sorrow, absolute peace. Stay in this experience for a while. Stay in the experience of emptiness where all your sorrows dissolve. Stay in this experience. This is nirvana. This is enlightenment. The full-fledged version of this known as Buddhahood. Now generate very strong aspiration. May I forever experience this very profound emptiness where all my sorrows and along with the sorrows all my mental defilements dissolve. I can stay in this experience for a while. This is known as renunciation, the true understanding of renunciation. Otherwise, people loosely say, what is renunciation? The desire to get away from misery, the desire to cut your attachment and so forth. But how? Then the real understanding comes, the desire to experience this emptiness where all your miseries, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anger, attachment, all this dissolve and the peace is restored. That peace is very reliable peace. It's known as the transcendent sorrow is absolute peace. Okay, slowly come to the practice to move to the Bodhicitta practice. Are you ready? Bodhicitta practice. Good. Okay, now let us sit properly. Bodhicitta practice requires a lot of support from the support and blessings from all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Let us see the blessings for all Buddhas Bodhisattvas, imagining all Buddhas Bodhisattvas are with you. The Buddha Shakyamuni, his own is at and all the enlightened masters from Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gelok, Potong, Putun, Shije, from all the traditions, just invoke the blessings of all these teachers of these traditions. And you are surrounded by your two parents and all of them members, including children, and all sentient beings around you. With this mind, let us do the 4 immeasurables today. The first immeasurable, loving kindness. At times, this practice can be very superficial. It doesn't matter. This is the meaning of the practice. Like it is like practicing the music. You mimic. You copy the hand gestures, the finger, the which button to which keyboard to which keys to press. You copy it from your teachers. But despite that effort, there's no music. It's just a noise. You keep doing it, gradually beautiful music comes out of that. This is the meaning of the practice. So even though our reflection can be very superficial, but in due course of time, with practice, you see that beautiful Buddha, the Bodhicitta will arise within us. Okay, with this mind, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes happiness. Causes happiness primarily consisting of the most beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, and the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and cause of happiness. And Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you, like the mother after all these many years of raising her children, that today the eldest daughter is just 12 and the eldest son aged 11. Two of them come to the mother, tell the mother, Mother, please take rest, you have done everything for us. And we'll take care of you now, we'll take care of our siblings. And the mother could not believe her eyes and ears, extreme. They felt so proud and so happy. Tears of happiness roll down her cheeks. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhas. They're so proud of you today. And this pride and happiness invoke the compassionate minds to send forth nectars and soothing lights towards you and all demonstration beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies and beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness. But this minds of essentially yourself. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies and beings yours. The beings endowed with perfect happiness and cause happiness. And that you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the demonstration beings. You intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths. Sigh with relief. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear medicine beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering? Causes of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, and their offshoots in the form of inappropriate tension, afflictions, and the contaminated karmas. May all my dear medicine beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear medicine beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars and soothing to you on all dimensional beings. The mere touch and that the mere touch of nectars and the delights with the bodies of beings yours washes of all the miseries and causes of miseries from the sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the demonstration beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassionate minds to send thought nectars very sweet and light towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectars with the body speaks to yours. It stabilizes happiness and causes happiness that beings endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all with divine sentient beings. You intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths. Sound with relief. Immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dim sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dim sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. May all my dim sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I'll take the responsibility that all my dim sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment. They're intensely happy and proud of you. Like the mother after all these many years raising children, and today the eldest daughter, just aged 12, and the eldest son, aged 11, 2 of them come to the mother, telling the mother, "Mother, please take rest. You've done everything for us. Now we've grown up. We'll take care of all our siblings." And the mother could not believe her eyes and ears. So proud, so happy. The tears, happiness rolled down her cheeks. And this is exactly what has happened to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're so proud, so intense, happy. This happiness and pride invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars and resutilize towards you and all demonstrated beings. The mere touch of light nectars with the bronze beings yours frees the beings from the biased attitude and excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and instead making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other demonstrated beings equally, leaving none aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all our demonstrated beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths out with relief. Underscoring all the four immeasurables is unconditional love. Abiding is unconditional love for a while. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of sentient beings with so much love and affection, to the extent that each one of them feels himself so special in your eyes. With folded hands, let us make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together as an auspicious indication of our having been together for this retreat. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. This is the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in the entire universe, and today you generated this. About this experience for a while. Your contemplation, that becomes an analytical meditation, Bodhicitta. Now your body's experience, that is the Shamatha meditation on Bodhicitta. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean, white moon disk, horizontally sitting with the heart. Okay, that's amazing that you made such courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But remember, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I've put energy within me. I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds. I've put energy within me. But if you put energy, how come that it is not activated? That it is not become full-fledged since time immemorial till today? Yes, it's all because that I'm being deceived by the two demons, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. Today I'm disillusioned by these two, that I come to discover that these two are the worst of my enemies. These two are no more my friends. They are the worst of my enemies. This is what I discovered. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the two demons. What am I going to do to remove these demons? I'm going to introduce very powerful remedy, powerful antidote. What is that remedy or the antidote? Is the non-dual wisdom of emptiness. What is wisdom of emptiness like? Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which we meditated as the third seal of the four seals. Okay, think of this beautiful flower, and how does flower appear to you? As subject real, or like a dream that your subjective your mind is impure? Of course, object real. This is in lieu of the identified object negation, object real to the flower. Now, how do we know that belief, that this belief in this flower existing objectively is a self-grasping ignorance? It's not a wisdom, it's the ignorance. How do we know that? Yes, remember what Arunachal taught. If the mirage were to be water, were not those close by the mirage see water? But a similar token of reasoning, if this flower were to exist objectively, why don't this flower exist be seen as I go close to object? Okay, now instead of flower, we'll think of somebody who you love so much, like your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, or somebody you love so much. Think of that person. And how does the person appear to you? So object real. And this is illusion. That belief is the one which creates all the problems, all the tears. When something goes wrong to other person, your tears flow, your heart breaks down. And actually, love and affection can be expanded, but the pain is created by the self-grasping ignorance. You can expand your love and affection. You can infinite love and affection towards your near and dear ones, but this pain is unnecessarily created by we don't want this pain. The honor is created by the self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude. Okay, if this person who I love so much, if this person would exist objectively, then this person should be seen when subject to ultimate analysis. Okay, now let us employ the ultimate analysis by going closer to the person. By going closer to the person, what you see is that initially you see a thin layer of the skin. That is not that person. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Where the whole skeleton is there, there's also not that person. The muscles, the heart, the lungs, the liver, all these solid parts constitute element of earth. None of that on earth is that person. Element of water, 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not that person. Element of fire, the body heat, 2,600 joules of energy. Even that is not that person. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through, that this person breathes in and out through his or her lungs. Even these airs are not person. And in space, 99% of this person's body is vacuum, space. Space occupied by the electrons and protons is way, 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 way small in comparison with the space in between the electrons and the nucleus. But this person is solid person. The person is not vacuum. So in the space is not that person. Now what is left? The mind, consciousness is left. If this consciousness of the person is not that person, because I can see this person, I can see the person's consciousness, I can see the person's mind, and also that this person is a male, this person is a female, and this gender is posited based on the body, and the mind doesn't have a gender. So from that point of view, even this
this mind is also mind of the consciousness, element of consciousness, not that person. Okay, now subjecting this person to ultimate analysis, you end up seeing 6 elements. Tell me, which of 6 elements is this person to be identified as intrinsically, objectively as the person? None. Okay, if you understand this, then you've understood the second essential of understanding emptiness of objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Next, if it is not one with its parts, see if it is interestingly different from the parts. Remove the 6 elements, what is left as a person? Nothing is left there. Okay, if you understood this, you've understood third essential of the understanding that that the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Okay, now given that the two possibilities for the person to exist objectively is ruled out, entails, it means that the person doesn't exist objectively. You've understood this? Yes. This is meaning of the fourth essential of understanding the perversion. That anything which is empty of intrinsic being one with and different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the person. Very good. Okay, now tell me, you've come too close to the object, to this person. In the eyes of ultimate analysis, where is this person? This person is empty, it dissolves. This is really I'm discovering. Stay in 6 minutes for a while. Slowly transform this wisdom of emptiness, which is the most fearless mind, into a spotless, clean, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk at your heart. Okay, now that's amazing. You have the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas, the two bodhicittas joined together. The moon, symbolic of the moon, symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, which is the altruistic intention to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And the Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, which is the non-dual wisdom of Arya Bodhisattvas. And the moon, conventional bodhicitta, will guarantee to exterminate the self-centered attitude. And the Vajra, symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, will guarantee to exterminate all the mental defilements, be it afflictive or cognitive obscurations, all the mental defilements. Thereby your Buddha nature is going to become so manifested fully in its purest form, to feel the perfect fearlessness and the infinite happiness for yourself and for all sentient beings. Meanwhile, don't forget your two parents are with you. Two parents, all your family members, all the sentient beings are there. They are suffering terribly. Generate a very strong compassion to all the sentient beings. And this compassion invokes the Vajra moon at your heart to multiply infinite number of times. And share one side of the Vajra moon at the heart of your mother, one at the heart of your father, one at the heart of each one of the family members, including children, and each of the beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, God and goddess spirits, here in Tawang, in India, in your own country, every creature in the ocean, every creature in the wilderness forest, and every sentient being in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Now, all the sentient beings have the Vajra moon, which you so generously, so kindly shared. Yes, meanwhile, let's not forget the all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas they are watching us. They're so happy and proud of you. Why not we invite all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to be the witness and a guest to our engaging in the ceremony, taking the aspect of Bodhisattva vow. As the gesture of making this request to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand up along with all demonstration beings to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, let us sit on your right knees. Page 50. Okay, visualize all Buddhas Bodhisattvas with us as you have invited, requested to be with us, all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Imagine that you are a little girl or little boy, just aged 4 or 5. For the first time in your life, you are making public appearance on behalf of your school. And your parents, that day, whatever they leave behind, whatever they have to do that day, and instead come to join the audience, waving their hands to you, telling you that we are here to support you. We are so proud of you. You feel so secure, so happy. And you as a little girl, but very responsible, or a little boy, very responsible, you bring along with you all your siblings, younger siblings. This is exactly what you're doing, that you're bringing along all demonstration makes your parents, everyone with you. And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like your parents, they are so attentively paying attention to what are you doing today, taking the aspect of Bodhisattva vow. As you made a request, they gladly accepted the request, and they're coming to you, paying full attention to what you're doing. So with this mind, we're going to recite these verses together. Because that is going to be the last day for this retreat, I'm going to give a quick explanation of these verses for us to contemplate. And if we can do this on a daily basis by contemplating meanings of these verses, that will be extremely meritorious, beneficial, that later when you practice Bodhicitta, there is the indication that Bodhicitta can be invoked, can be generated very quickly. So given that this journey is a journey of enlightenment, which we've never undertaken before, ever before, we need a great support. And the greatest source of support that you can think of is the Triple Gem. The first line says, I'll go for refuge to the Triple Gem. And this journey involves a road. If the road is blocked by the boulders and the fallen trees, again, you cannot undertake the journey. So the road is none other than your own mind. This mind must be freed of the mental defilements, negativities, negative karmas, and so forth. And one of the best ways by which to do so is to confess the negativities. The second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Now the road is very clear, but if the car doesn't have enough fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. The car is none other than your own mind. This mind requires a tremendous amount of fuel of virtues to take the journey to enlightenment. And one of the most effective ways by which to accumulate so much virtues within a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues. The third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now that the road is very clear and the car is enough fuel, what are the journey I'm going to undertake? The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart, meaning that I'm going to undertake the journey to reach to Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings and myself. And we'll recite this 3 times wholeheartedly together. And meanwhile, if you start to feel the pain of your knees and legs, please sit in the most comfortable position. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The next 2 verses are the actual practice where you invoke Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas to pay heed to you. And the first verse is that in the history of the humanity, is there anybody who succeeded in this journey, in undertaking the journey? Yes, of course. There was once 2,500 years ago, there was a prince by the name Prince Siddhartha. And he had completed his journey. So how did he succeed? He succeeded for 2 for two for creating two factors. First factor is that he generated very strong desire to become Buddha, generated Bodhicitta. And the second factor, that to materialize this aspiration to become Buddha, who engaged in the Bodhisattva's activities like generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, wisdom, and the skillfulness, aspirational prayers, power, and the primordial wisdom. Engaging in the practice of these 10 perfections, 6 perfections plus 4 perfections, making 10 perfections. If this is how he succeeded in his journey, I will also follow his footsteps. Also, I will also create these two factors. I will also generate very strong motivation, first factor, and to materialize this aspiration, I'll also engage to create the second factor, which is whatever I do, I make sure that I do these things as part of the practice of 10 perfections, which the Bodhisattvas should follow. So with this in mind, and with the 3 repetitions, completion of 3rd repetition, feel the joy of a happiness to receive the aspirant Bodhisattva vow. Okay, let's do this together. Imagine that you are doing this practice and all beings are joining us. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in their Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in their Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successful trained Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successful train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspirant Bodhisattva vow. We are extremely meritorious under the Aritara's white Aritara's statue, and we're taking this Bodhisattva vow for yourself and for all demonstration beings with all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas as a witness. This is amazing. And all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas today, like the mother, after all these many years of receiving complaint from the school principal about you being very naughty, mischievous, and so forth, today again the mother sees and the Buddhas Bodhisattvas, like the mother, seeing the school principal coming. The mother is very apprehensive. What kind of complaint today? The principal says, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? That your little daughter and little son, 2 of them appointed best students of this school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes in ears. This is exactly what happened to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas, that they couldn't believe, what are you doing today? What have you done today? All these innumerable lifetimes, they only wish that we shun the non-virtuous actions, afflictions, so forth, so that you don't experience miseries and suffering, the tears of samsara. On the contrary, we have been always embracing non-virtues, the cause of the miseries, that we continue to suffer endlessly. And since from immortal till today, the Buddhas have been only wishing that we embrace the virtues so that we will experience happiness all the time. On the contrary, we shun the cause of happiness, and we always remain deprived of happiness. And today what he did is so different. To shun the miseries, the cause of the miseries, to shun all the miseries, to keep the miseries remote, and the happiness bring close to you to experience happiness eternally. This is what we've done. All the Buddhas, they're so proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the Vajramon at the hearts of the Buddhas Bodhisattvas to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, these Vajramons, they descend to merge with the one that visualize your heart, thereby become non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all these replicas of the Vajramon, infinite number of Vajramons, like rain shower, they descend and merge with the one that visualizes the heart of your mother, and the heart of your father, and the heart of each one of family members, including children, each of the beings in Tawang, in all these trillions creatures in the oceans, and trillions creatures in the wilderness, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Amazing. This guarantees that all beings are going to be freed from suffering and experience the ultimate happiness of Buddhahood. And you so kindly did it. And this is the greatest of the gift that can possibly make. Offer it to your parents and to all the dear mothers and beings of the past lives. This amazing gift that you're offering today. And all all the offerings that you can think of, the Buddha made it very clear that one moment of practicing compassion far excels the gifts, offerings of the whole universe filled with gems, the gold, silver, diamonds, so forth, and offered to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned of our having taken the aspiration Bodhisattva today, therefore today you have made the greatest of offerings to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Amazing. And of your life, that there's nothing greater than what you've done today. All of life, what it is, either is just for creating more negative karmas, to suffer more by being unkind to other beings, and just to feel bad. But today, what you did today is extremely meaningful. That is of greatest meaning of this life and the future lives, today and the future, yourself for others, short term, long term. This is the greatest thing that you've done. So that you have extracted, you've given such meaning to your life, is amazing. And all these wonders happening because of the kindness of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. As a gesture, thank all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Let us slowly stand up, along with all the sentient beings, to make three prostrations to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats. With respect to the practice, this and the study, reflection, meditation on the Bodhicitta, the wisdom emptiness. For this life, yes, we're connected already. For the future lifetimes, we need to have two plans. One, to make sure that in future lifetimes also we meet with these teachings, because out of 8 billion human beings, there are so more than 99.99% of the people, they do not get a chance to meet with this Dharma. Forget about the animals, insects, and so forth. So, meeting with the Dharma is extremely the precious, and is very rare. To make sure that we meet with the Dharma, number one. After meeting with the Dharma, for example, here in Tawang, in the Tibetans, and the Ladakhis, and everywhere, Arunachal, where they say the members were actually born as Buddhist, but then how many are seriously practicing Buddhism? Is so less. So where there's some parties happening, hundreds of people will be there, Dhamma discourses, 10, 15, like this. So this is reality. So they are born, they come in contact with the Dhamma, but they don't take it seriously, because they don't find the joy in seriously engaging with this. So only if we meet with the Dhamma, plus finding a very serious, feeling joy in this, only then you will seriously delve into this, and then you will be able to stop all the tears of samsara. All miseries will be stopped only then. But on the contrary, it is not happening. So therefore, we have to make sure that these two things are the planned from now that in future lifetimes to meet with the Dhamma, and not only to meet with the Dhamma, but also seriously engage in the Dhamma in the full swing. So for that matter, we recite the following verses together, page 51. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even in the course of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall it disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel over here in a heap of rubbish, likewise by coincidence, an awakened mind has been born within me. Awakened mind here means the Bodhicitta. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the suffering of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings wandering entirely on the path of conditioned existence. It is this universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the abundance of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all to protect us, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temperance and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, direction prayer. I dedicate the merit Dasgatha towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through this for this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdomized the blind of ignorance. Deata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. 3 persistence together.